Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the September 15th Post Falls Urban Renewal Commission meeting. I'd like to call the roll, please.
Chairman Botzell.
Here.
Carstensen.
Here.
Crosby.
Here.
Malzahn.
Here.
Davis. Here. Coles.
Here.
Hauser.
Here.
Thank you.
Very good. We have a quorum. We're all here. Would you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, moving right into the agenda for today. Ceremonies, appointments, and announcements. I'm not aware of any that have been brought to my attention. Does anyone else have anything to add to that at this time? If not, moving into conflict disclosure, do any of the commissioners have any items to disclose relative to something that might be on the agenda for this morning? Okay, seeing none, we'll move into the consent calendar. Director Fountain, please.
Thank you. Good morning, Chairman Baltzell and Commissioners. Item A in the consent calendar is the Commission meeting minutes of August 18th, 2016. Item B is the Commission workshop meeting minutes of September 7th, 2016. Item C is the payables for this month totaling $9,731.88. Item D is the bank activity report, which shows all funds totaling $3,192,548.24, with accrued interest for the month of $1,431.86. Item E is the financial reports as of August 31st, 2016, that are as printed from our in-house QuickBooks accounting system and will be posted to our website. Your approval of the consent calendar will authorize a transfer of $1,431.86 accrued interest to the general fund and transfer to the Community First checking account $9,731.88 for general payables. Mr. Chairman, I would answer any questions.
Okay, any questions on the consent calendar? Okay, we need a voice vote.
Yes.
Okay, all in favor of, or let's have a motion first. How about that? Let's have a motion. Tom?
We approve the consent calendar.
Okay, thank you. Is there a
Second the motion.
Second by Mr. Crosby. Okay, any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Thank you, Diane. Committee updates, finance and policy. Commissioner Crosby, please.
Nothing new to report, Chairman. We've finished the amended budget, which will be presented at the public hearing today.
Very good, thank you. District review, Commissioner Coles.
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Communications, property, and personnel, Commissioner Carstensen.
Nothing at this time.
Okay. Citizen comments. This section of the agenda is reserved for citizens wishing to address the commission regarding an agency-related issue. Comments related to future public hearings should be held for that public hearing. Persons wishing to speak will have 5 minutes. Do we have anyone in the audience that would like to address the commission? I see none. We'll move on to our public hearing. We have a public hearing this morning on the amendment to our fiscal year 2016 budget for the Post Falls Urban Renewal Agency. If anyone wishes to speak and has not filled out a form, please do so now and give it to the Executive Director. Notice of the public hearing was published on September 7th and September 14th as required by Idaho Code Section 50-29035. I now open the public hearing. Commissioner Crosby, would you process us through this?
Yes, good morning, Chairman, and members of the Commission. The amended fiscal year 2016 budget, which is the year running from October 1st, 2015 to September 30th, 2016, has been published as required by state law and was revised and reviewed at our workshop earlier this month. The amended budget and a breakdown of the adjustments to tax increment by district are shown on pages 18 and 19 of your packet. Under the revenues category, you will note that we have adjusted for actual versus projected carryover funds in City Center and East Post Falls. The original projections for these districts were based on estimated property values when those districts were from the prior year. And those districts are being adjusted to reflect the actual values, and you can see that off to the side, set by the county assessor's office. The net adjustment was a reduction in those revenues of $63,114. The major adjustment to revenues is under the category of other financing sources, and this is to adjust the revenue projections to reflect the draws that we have taken on loans that the agency has to complete the improvements in Greens Ferry, Spokane Street, and Spencer Street, all public improvements which have now been completed. Revenues received from loan draws during this fiscal year were $5,149,934. The adjustment to the expenditure portion of the 2016 budget, down in this section, adjust our initial projections for the proponent reimbursements made for completed public improvements in each of our districts. All of these adjustments are within the City Center and East Post Falls districts, and again reflect loan draws and progress payments made for Greens Ferry, Spokane Street, and Spencer Street. The additional adjustments falling under the category of debt repayment reflect, which is down here in the bottom, and interest expense, reflect funds applied from agency revenues to reduce our loans, which are secured by the public improvements, and an adjustment to reflect the interest paid for those loans over the course of this fiscal year, which ends on September 30th. Any questions?
Okay, did we get any comments or questions from anyone in the community regarding for this hearing? Okay, there being none, and excellent recap. I'm going to close the public part of the hearing and open it for commissioner comments. Any comments or deliberations or actions regarding this process that we are following today? Keep in mind that the reason why we're doing it this way, which we started, I believe, last year or the year before, was at the recommendation of our auditors, so that by the end of the fiscal year, we have actual numbers to put into the budget instead of in the early part of the year or prior to the start of the fiscal year guessing at what it might end up being. And so it's a process that we're following at this time. Are there any questions or comments from any of the commissioners? It was an excellent job, staff and Lynn and the Finance Committee. Okay, if not, I would entertain a motion to approve the amendment to the budget.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to accept the amended budget for fiscal year 2016 as presented and adopt resolution number 2016-03.
Second. And there's a second? Okay, very good. Any further discussion? Hearing or seeing none, Director Fountain, would you please call the roll?
Baltzell?
Aye.
Carstensen?
Aye.
Crosby?
Aye.
Malzahn?
Aye.
Coles?
Aye.
Davis? Aye. Hauser?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, very good. Motion carried. Is there any unfinished business this morning to discuss?
None.
Any new business to discuss at this time?
No.
Staff report.
I just have on my staff report that a joint workshop with City Council is scheduled for October 18th at 4:30 in the basement of the City Hall. And the purpose of the workshop is to review the current status of our urban renewal districts, the potential for any new districts, and provide the opportunity to discuss changes in legislation over the last year along with the process for this year's legislative session. We've received confirmations from everybody. Colin, can you make that meeting?
Yes, ma'am.
And Rich?
Yes.
Okay.
And we don't need a quorum in order to make that meeting with the city, I don't
No,
believe.
no.
Because I know we're going to have potentially two of our commissioners out of pocket for that,
Right.
for that time frame.
And Mr. Chairman, I have a city council meeting of my own that night at 5 o'clock, every first and third Tuesday of every month.
Okay,
So, it's cutting it pretty close for me.
sure. Understand. That's okay. We won't do anything legal during that.
Or illegal.
Or illegal,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Thank you for letting us know
Question,
that.
that was the 18th?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yes,
Thank you.
And that's a Tuesday.
Tuesday.
right? Okay. Okay.
And that's all I
uh,
have.
I'm sorry?
That's all I have.
Okay. At this time, I intended to cancel the executive session meeting because of what I heard earlier this morning, but I think the appropriateness would be to go ahead and hold a brief executive session as stated in the agenda in order to clear the air on a couple of things that we need to do. I think that's the appropriate thing to do. So I thought I could get a motion to,
Mr. Chairman, I move that we enter into executive session pursuant to Idaho Code 74-2061C to consider acquisition of an interest in a real property which is not owned by a public agency, and that this session, that no decisions be made in this session, and it lasts no longer than 10 minutes.
okay, very good. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, can we do that by voice vote?
Roll call vote.
Roll call vote, please.
Baltzell?
Aye?
Carstensen?
Aye.
Crosby?
Aye?
Malzahn?
Aye.
Davis? Aye. Coles?
Aye.
Hauser?
Aye.
Thank you.
Okay, motion carried, and we will now go into executive session. And Shelley, I would like to ask if you would join us in that meeting, please. At 8:19. Okay, commissioner comments. Do we have any new commissioner comments that would like to be made at this time? Seeing none, chairman comments. I think that I'll reserve my comments for another time. Just want to, again, say appreciate the staff and the city and the folks back there keeping us on track with the TV. Thank you very much for all your work, and the commissioners for all your work in serving this community. And I think we do an excellent job in working together to do the very best we can for our community. So with that, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move that we adjourn.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Moved and seconded to adjourn. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. We're adjourned.